Hey y'all, it's your girl KV, and I am finally coming to you with Real Housewives of Potomac Reunion Part 3, Season 8, Episode 21. Um, I'll admit I was like halfway on the boycott wave, okay? So I was like, well, I definitely don't want to give it its +3 ratings. I think I didn't even end up watching it until yesterday because I was like, man, I got some time. So I might as well watch it and like it go towards the ratings at this point anyway. So here's where we are. The episode picks up with Gordon and his dramatic reveal. And his reveal is that he was diagnosed with bipolar 1 about a year ago. Mia, is crying while he's doing his explanation, and Wendy and Candace are comforting her. It annoys me to no end that they forever extend grace to women who won't do the same for them. Candace, Mia was just making fun of how much you cry. Don't comfort her. Don't comfort her. She always has something slick to say about you. Mia Wendy, didn't you just make up with Mia? And that was barely half of a makeup. She assaulted you last year, but you're sitting here trying to comfort her in these fake tears. I will never understand Candace's and Wendy's mindset when they go to bat for people that don't do the same for them. Just like in the previous episode where Candace was like, well, I don't think Ashley knows about it. I don't think Ashley had anything to do with the lawsuit. Girl, what? Why are you extending this grace when she is so quick to throw you up under the bus? She literally brought somebody to come and assault you. I don't care what nobody think. She knew what Deborah was coming to do, and she approved of it. That's why they asked was the cameras off. That's why Deborah waited to approach. That's why Deborah was down in her streetwear like she was. So anyway, back to where we are. Gordon telling us that he is bipolar. So I'm guessing that this was around that he was diagnosed around the time that the family voted him out of the business. He said once he did some reflecting, he realized like he was on one of those manic episodes, and I guess the family just didn't want to deal with it. And this must have coincided with around the time where Mia was wanting a divorce as well. He's sitting there singing Mia's praises, saying that, she's been there for him. She only left because she couldn't take it anymore, yada, yada, blah. Mia's a great woman, blue, blue, blue. He mentioned, I can't remember what Andy asked in particular, but he mentioned how he was fired from his position, but he still had his shares in the company. So this was weird to me, simply because if it was just a firing because of you and your manic episode, why Mia get fired too? Was Mia not doing her job? Was Mia's job contingent upon your job? Like, I was just really wondering that, because didn't Mia have some type of position, director of this or that or whatever? So yeah, I was confused about that. Mia says she still plans to support him and to be there for him even though they are getting a divorce. So basically they got to keep up with their antics so that they can stay on the show and she can afford to support him. Because now, it's time to pay the piper. You've been getting all of this stuff out of Gordon, so now it's time for you to repay it, especially since she already got a new man and she's trying to run around town and be with this new man from city to city. Gordon gonna have to be taking care of the kids, so you might as well pay him that child support. Next, we talk about Nneka, and she mentions that her IUI didn't take, so she'll be trying for IVF next. She mentioned that all the women were supportive of her. Candace gave her a bunch of resources and tips and everything, because Candace did the IVF journey. I think she did 2 cycles of egg retrieval, and now that's what she's pregnant from, is the IVF process. So the thing about Nneka and her package, when they showed her little package, She spent more time talking about Wendy than she did herself this entire season. This entire season, NECA's dang near only storyline was that Wendy's mama cursed me. She got a shrine. She's a witch. It went on for far too long, and I feel like Aneka let Ashley put that battery in her back. And Ashley was dead wrong. Don't get me wrong. Ashley was dead wrong. But NECA running with it the way that she did and keeping the arguments up and adding the sauce on it, it was just way too much for me. The conversation went from, do you know Wendy, when they first saw NECA? Do you know Wendy? Oh, okay, yeah, da, da, da. So did you hear about the article? Da, 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 da. Oh, well, I don't know if she's a Sue or not. I don't know anything about that. I just know that I'm not. To, oh, your mom's a witch. She called me and was praying against me and she has a shrine. Your mama has a shrine. It was just all too much, especially getting the husbands into it. Now Ike is saying, oh, well, we were friends on Facebook and then he unfriended me on Facebook. And what's the big deal? Puffing up his chest at pickleball. It all became too much. And my thing is like, Ike, you got way too much smoke for Eddie, who you don't even know like that, when your wife be dang near cussing you out and demeaning you at every turn. Like, spread some of that smoke out and stand up for yourself when it comes to your wife, because she be demeaning you whenever she feels she needs to. So, like I said, she's talking about Wendy more than she did herself this whole season. Andy reveals in a way to kind of, it felt like he was trying to call Wendy out. I can't be the only one that feels that way. He was trying to call Wendy out for not being a team player, basically, by saying that, well, Wendy, you know, we actually wanted you to bring on Aneka as your friend. Wendy's still on her Mariah's. I don't know her. I don't know her. Who is she? I don't know her. And my thing about this is Wendy had a whole nother friend, Kiarna, that she was trying to bring on. So why do y'all want her to push Kiarna to the side, who was her real friend, to bring on Aneka, who she don't know like that? Yeah, I get it, Andy. That's usually how this goes. If you met somebody once or twice, that's enough to bring them on the show as your friend. Hey, Fallon and Portia. But I feel like that shouldn't be her obligation to bring somebody on the show just because they're both Nigerian. It was really crazy to me. So they still talking about that. Wendy, did you want to be the only Nigerian on the show? She was like, no, I just don't know her enough to bring her on the show. Well, we met at multiple events, Wendy. One of the events was a very exclusive. Only 10 people were there. So I know that you had to remember me. And I'm just like, girl, I don't care if it was just 3 people there. That don't mean that she supposed to remember you. And even if she did remember you, that don't mean that she supposed to like you enough to bring you on as her friend when it's 7 other ladies that could do so. It was just really given entitled, and it annoyed me from Andy and Aneka. So Neka says that she was not trying to use Wendy, and she was already approached by Married to Medicine, but Lebe or somebody told her that, well, if you in Potomac, you need to meet Wendy so you can be on that show, yada, yada, yada. And then they come to talk about the whole Osu article claims and things of that nature. Andy got on my nerves because he was like, we now know that this is very culturally sensitive topic and we hate that we had to spend this time on it. Andy, you knew from jump when you told your producers to tell Ashley to tell NECA about this Osu article that it was culturally sensitive. And this is why you don't play with other people's cultures and other people's religion. Because you don't know what you're doing and you causing mess just for the sake of TV. And it's not even good TV. That's the part that gets me. It wasn't even a good season. This season made me realize, like, wow, I be thinking that other shows be having bad seasons, but it ain't terrible like this. Love and Marriage Huntsville still wasn't this terrible. It was still bad on its last season, but it wasn't this bad. Cause at this point, it's like y'all are just being randomly offensive and divided for no reason. For no reason. So Ike pipes in, he mentions that it is a very taboo topic in the Nigerian community, and they truly do not talk about it. It's just not something that they talk about. It feels like Andy wanted to punish Wendy for not bringing Aneka on the show. Because, like I said, the first conversation that we see Ashley and Aneka have, she don't have no emotions about Wendy. She's just like, oh, okay. Oh, that's what happened. I don't know about her. I'm not Osu, but I don't know what's going on. And then it goes to all of this back and forth. And, it's like turmoil was created to punish Wendy for not bringing Aneka on the show. And I'm really wondering if Wendy would have just brought Aneka on the show, would the whole Osu storyline have even been brought up? I don't think it would have, y'all. I truly don't think it would have been brought up because Ashley wouldn't have been the one to bring in NECA and to talk to NECA one-on-one like that. So it definitely feels like they're trying to punish Wendy with that. But then it kind of backfired because people were very like, why would you be playing with these people's culture? Why would y'all be doing this? Why would y'all be airing this? Y'all don't know what this is about. Y'all need to stop. So allegedly, Aneka will not be returning for the next season. And I get it. Like I said, she didn't show us enough of her to even like. We only saw her being argumentative, unagreeable, and boring. She didn't give enough of herself for us to like. So I wouldn't mind her not returning. And I'm usually, 50-50 on this because I feel like your first season always gonna shake out strange. Give people a second season to, really bring the people in. But y'all can go and send her home. I truly would forget about Aneka during the season and especially at the reunion because she wasn't saying nothing. She was backstage talking about, I feel like this is my time to say it. I just gotta get it out. And then she gets out there and doesn't say anything. She's just doubling down on the questions as far as if somebody's actually, well, I think that this is, well, I think, girl, stop trying to make everybody else's moment your moment because you don't take up for yourself and you ain't have no storyline. Had you talked more about yourself and not Wendy, you would have had more time to talk about yourself instead of injecting yourself into everybody else's questions or answers and things during this reunion. I peep what you was trying to do, baby, and this still ain't work. So next, Andy asks Wendy about Osu. He's like, well, Wendy, what did it mean? And Wendy so eloquently, so shady said, actually, I think we should ask Ashley since she's the one that brought it to the show. Neck tries to pipe up and answer. Well, Wendy said, this is Ashley's question. Baby, I about fell in the floor at this moment. And it was just so funny to me because Wendy was dead on. You're absolutely right. Ask Ashley since she the one that want to bring it up. No, NECA, this is not your moment. Go find another moment to make yours. This is not your time. This is Ashley's question. And I saw people online like, that was so weird how she did that, or that was so rude of Wendy, and why she, baby, not even Andy challenged Wendy. Andy let it ride because he knew, you're absolutely right. Let's ask Ashley if she knows because she's the one that brought it to the show. But he also, there ain't nothing you can tell me. I really feel like production dug that up on Wendy because they were mad that she wouldn't bring Aneka on. And they told Ashley so that Ashley can take it to NECA and make it a storyline. It's truly nothing that you can tell me otherwise. So Ashley gets to stammering, and she's like, she doing that little face that she did already. I'm like, girl, that little face is not doing you no favors. Please stop. So she's making her little face. Well, I never pretended to know what it means, and I will admit that I didn't understand the severity of it. And she's talking in circles, and it's just like, girl, girl. And we hear Giselle in the background. So, is Osu a bad thing? I wanted to throw a tomato right dead smack in the middle of Giselle's forehead. You know that Osu is a bad thing because when all of the Osu and Shrine rumors came about, you got your butt on the phone to talk to Jamal, and Jamal told you that all that stuff was evil and stay away from it. So don't try to act surprised now like you don't know what Osu is. Pipe down. I swear to God, I wish I had a rotten soft tomato just to boink her right in the face and watch that tomato juice just roll down each roll in her neck. She gets on my nerves so bad. She is single-handedly tanking Real Housewives of Potomac. I feel like everybody else has some redeemable or slightly redeemable qualities about them, but Giselle really drags this show to the ground, to the depths of hell. Okay, she bothers me so bad. So Nneka has a point. She says that she feels like Wendy has all of this energy for her, but she never said anything to Ashley. And I don't even think that Wendy addressed that because Nneka had a point for once. And I was thinking that all throughout the season, like, why are you still being friendly or supportive of Ashley when she's the one that caused all of this? She came and told you a lie. Oh, Nneka brought up the fact that you're a Sue. And then once production called her out on it, she comes back to Wendy like, so maybe I misrepresented some of the things that was said. And still keeping up the mess, but no smoke for Ashley. And that's the stuff I be talking about, y'all. Ashley is on my nerve too, but even she still has some redeeming qualities. She can be fun. When she's not up to Green Eye Bandit's booty, she can be fun. She can bring a little spiciness to the show that ain't all bad. But Nneka, back to you, darling. Wendy concentrated her anger on you because one, you're Nigerian and you should know better. When Ashley first brought that Osu stuff up and was asking you all that, you should have shut it down. You shouldn't have even let this little mixed American girl get into African people business like that. Get into y'all Nigerian Igbo business like that. You shouldn't have even let that run. Cause I don't care how friendly I am with you. If you come over here and start saying something about something you don't know nothing about, I'm gonna be like, girl, I'm not engaging in that. Oh no, baby, don't even talk about that. If she is, that's her business, and you let her God and whoever else deal with it. But we're not gonna have a discussion about my Nigerian culture that you know nothing about. Period. And also, Nneka, you called her mama a witch. So yeah, she probably forgot that she need to have smoke for Ashley and just kept her foot on your neck because you came for her mama. Not right, but it's okay. But yeah, y'all, I do wish that she would have had some smoke for Ashley too. Nneka then says that Wendy tried to ice her out from the group. How, Sway? Wendy is already iced out herself. Who is she icing you out from, Nneka? Whom? And this is another instance where I'm like, Andy really gets on my nerve because he is so biased and you can tell who he does and does not like. And now I'm starting to see it like other folks see it for as far as I guess right after reunion or right before the reunion or something, when Andy was doing all the publicity tours with Candace and Wendy on all the talk shows and stuff. It was just the three of them. I'm like, well, this is odd. Like, he don't have none of his faves doing this stuff. He was trying to, clean it up before it came out. He was trying to get ahead of the story that he don't like Candace and Wendy. You ain't low. You ain't low. And this segment really fell flat. I don't even understand why they brought the men out there because they didn't even ask him nothing. I feel like he should have asked Ike some questions because Ike got all heated at Eddie and was about to fight Eddie at pickleball. That could have been a couple of questions that we discussed in the midst of the whole NECA versus Wendy saga. But that's what happens when you have somebody like Andy Cohen and his biases hosting these reunions. Okay. So they bring out Kiana and they ask her, what's her ties to the group. She said that she's known Wendy for about 5 years, and Giselle's hairdresser, Cal, was her mentor. They're both cosmetologists, and he's a little bit older, so she's been knowing him since she was 18 because he's mentored her. They talk about the trip and how she was sick and how Giselle was basically the only one that checked on her and Wendy and Candace didn't. Candace was like, that was strategic. She did that strategically. And Giselle was like, girl, what? So they also showed a part where Wendy was like, I'm not sharing a room with Kiana. And Wendy said she said that because they all had their own rooms. So why would they have to share if they didn't have to share? So that part confused me. And it's like, why do y'all fabricate such random storylines? Because when they got to that villa, they had a whole segment about how there wasn't enough rooms for everybody to have their own room. They would have to share rooms because most of the rooms were doubles. So to later find out that that was a lie, but y'all want us to believe that y'all don't plot on the people with fake storylines. If y'all made up a fake storyline about how many rooms it is, it was just so stupid and annoying to me. So next they talk about Wendy, and Andy's like coming for her for all her jobs. Like, listener question. I feel like everything was a listener question when it comes to the girls that he don't really care for. So listener question, Wendy, what's up with you and all your jobs? You're a commenter, you're a talk show host, you sell candles, you do this, you're a professor. Like, when are you just gonna pick something and stick to it? Excuse me. Is Wendy and all her jobs affecting y'all in any way? Is it taking money out of y'all pockets? Why would she have to stick with one career? That's not even plausible in this day and age. You really need multiple streams of income. Yes, Wendy is very, she seems like she can be flighty in her decisions, but she already described to us why that is. She grew up a traditional Nigerian woman where her mama told her, you go to school, you become a doctor or a lawyer, that's it. She lived her life to do that until basically she got on this show and she saw that there is so much more to life than just doing what your mama say and being a professor. Yeah, this happened when she was like 35 or whatever, but it happens. And she got in that moment and seeing these women and all of these differences and everything that's out there for her to do. And she went a little wild about it, getting her body done, making the candles and everything. But I don't see it as a bad thing. It's just Wendy trying to discover herself. So the fact that people try to make it seem like she just needs to pick one job and stick to it, it is so annoying. Y'all are mad that this lady has multiple streams of income? So annoying, y'all. So annoying. So she talks about the talk show. He asks, your platform's a little different. On your pilot, you had guests, but now that we see it, it's kind of like you doing monologue style. She said, well, yeah, because I don't have the means to secure a guest for every episode. They asked about Happy Eddie. Happy Eddie's doing good. She says that she thinks that she's going to quit teaching in the next year so that she can be with her family. That kind of confused me because I'm like, how much time? I'm like, is she teaching night classes or something? Because she was saying how she was missing stuff in her kids' lives. And I'm like, I can see that, but huh? It just confused me because as a professor, I don't really see too many classes that's happening after 5 o'clock. So if you just had a traditional 9 to 5, like you would if you wasn't, you know, who you are and what you do, would you still be missing out on your kids stuff? I don't know. It just kind of confused me. I know it's not for me to have to understand every facet of people's life, but it really confused me that she said her being a professor was taken away from time from her kids. Like, I would think, if anything, this show is taking time away from your kids because you have to film, you have to be out with these ladies, you have to go on these trips with these ladies. A professor is a regular job. You ain't working late nights unless you grading papers or something like that. So I was very confused on that part. Next, they talk about how Wendy, you're supposed to be so eloquent and educated, but you called Mia slow. Wendy said, Mia is the same person that says she's bi-coastal because she lives in Maryland and North Carolina. And that was her only explanation. I said, oops. Basically, she is slow. See point A. Case done. Maybe I was too weak. Mia said, well, you have to be mindful of buzzwords. You have to be mindful of buzzwords. Okay. Next, we get to Ashley and this divorce slash non-divorce. She basically tells us that she's in this toxic cycle with Michael, but she finally, filed a complaint to initiate the divorce. Initiate the divorce? Girl, you've been talking about divorce for like 1.5, 2 years. What you mean you just filed a complaint to initiate the divorce? That blew me, and I'm surprised nobody kind of drilled in and made her explain that. And maybe they did and we just didn't see it, and that's why she said she had such a hard time this reunion. They asked her what she's looking for in a divorce. She just says she wants a sizable amount to make sure that her kids are good. And she basically want to stay friends enough with Michael so that he will still help her out, because she don't feel like he would always take care of her and he wouldn't give her no alimony and stuff like that. She says she is dating other people. Okay. But she mentions that, oh yeah, well, I massage Michael's feet every night. And everybody's like, every night? But y'all live apart, right? How do you massage his? Massaged with a D. I used to. Nobody believes her. Nobody believes her. So, like I said, Ashley was on social media about to cry, saying that she got it really hard at this reunion. And I'm trying to figure out where. She didn't get called out for anything. Not that we saw. If she did, it got left on the cutting room floor, because she didn't get called out for real about this divorce and how she's just now initiating a divorce. She didn't get called out for starting the mess with Wendy and Aneka. She didn't get called out for bringing Sesame Street over to fight Candace. Wendy had to be the one to question her about the Osu stuff because Andy didn't. So I'm like, girl, why was you in near tears saying that you got held to the fire when that's not really how that happened? So they mentioned G&A, which brings us back to the fight situation at the fashion show. They asked Kiana her take on the fight. Kiana says, well, I was trying to defuse the fight. Wendy was trying to defuse the fight, but I don't think Deborah realized how much she was really in my space. She was really in my space. And that's what kind of set things off. They asked Candace if she was calling Deborah names, and she said, I didn't call her names until after she got in my face. Mia said that Grover was on a rampage and even approached her saying, so I'm a 4, Mia? I'm a 4? I'm a 4? Because remember in her confessional last year, Mia was like, I mean, Candace and Wendy are like 8.5s, and Deborah's like a 4. Basically saying, why would either of they man want to cheat on them with Deborah? Let's be for real. That's basically what Mia was saying. So she said Grover / Sesame Street came up to her. I'm a 4. I'm a 4, Mia. And Mia said, I just said, girl, we're all beautiful black women. We're all 10s. Let's just have fun. And then she basically tells Candace, you see how I diffused that? You should have just said something to just let it go and diffuse it instead of calling her names. Andy then asks Giselle about the fight since it happened at the GNA event and since she's had time to look at footage from the internet. This annoyed me so bad because it's like, why are we asking Giselle? Why wasn't this a question for everybody and everybody go around and say who they thought was responsible for the fight? Why do you zero in on Giselle? Well, Giselle, what do you think about the fight that you were not there to see? Oh, tell us more. Like, it was just the stupidest thing, and it just shows you that she is production's favorite, and they just do whatever they do want to do in regards of protecting her and villainizing whoever she says to villainize. So her answer is Kiana, Wendy, Candace, and Deborah were to blame. Wendy is like, what? Girl, I was dodging swings. I wasn't even in it. What are you talking about? Even Mia had to be like, Wendy had nothing to do with it. She had nothing to do with it. Okay, well, I'll take Wendy out. I'll take Wendy out, but the rest of them. This is so insane to me because Ashley is right there. Ashley is right there. She is the one who brought this belligerent, attention seeking woman onto the show for a second time after the first time she spent lying on people's husbands. That is reason enough to not bring her around again because she's clearly here to start mess. So the fact that Ashley was nowhere in that list of people to blame was so annoying to me. So this is clearly Ashley and Sesame Street's fault, but we're just gonna lump in Candace and Kiana because that's who she was coming for. It's such bull. And like I said, Giselle really drags this show down just by playing favoritism and production playing into it. It's so annoying. Candace is like, I didn't say anything to her until she came up in my face. They asked Candace, what was she gonna do with the bottle? Were you really gonna hit her with the bottle? Were you really gonna swing the bottle? She says she don't know what she was gonna do, but she knew that she had to defend herself if it had went further because the girl assaulted her. She came up to her, threw a drink on her, and kind of posted up like she was trying to fight her up until Kiana was like, hey, hey, hey. And then she hit Kiana with the glass, and then Kiana gave her that fade real quick. So Candace is just like, they try to confront Candace. They're like, well, why would you call her names? Karen is like, why would you call her a varmint? It's vermin. Why would you call her names? And Mia's like, you can't do that. Candace, you can't do that. And Mia's like, Candace, you just can't do that. Candace is like, yes, I can. I can. But I'm like, I guess that's on brand for Mia because she assaulted someone last year because of what they said to her. So she feels like people can be assaulted for hurting your feelings or for saying something that you don't like. So I guess it's on brand for Mia. It's crazy because they're doing all of this when the things happened with Candace and Monique at the winery. They were singing a different tune. You know, people shouldn't use their hands from words. You shouldn't go from words to hands. But now, well, you provoked people. But now you shouldn't say things that will get you hit. Just like they tried to say with Wendy and Mia. So they're trying to convince Candace that, your words make things worse. You provoke people and, well, you don't think that your words played a part. Candace said no. I feel like with whatever I said, she would have wanted to fight me. Like, she came there on a mission and we all saw that. Again, the line is always moving because how you going to blame her for telling someone to leave her alone? The line is always moving. It's so annoying. Candace is like, well, yeah, I knew that I had to do something for myself because I don't expect any of y'all to fight for me. That hurt my heart, y'all. That hurt my heart. Cause yeah, she do be by herself on these things. So this next piece I'm about to mention, it really blew me because when she did her ET interview talking about her pregnancy, she revealed that production asked her to tone down her responses and not be so vitriolic. Y'all, excuse me? That is insane. All the heat that they throw at her, and she is forced to handle them with kid gloves. So this reminds me of earlier in the reunion when they asked Giselle why didn't she say something to Candace or why didn't she address it in the moment, and Giselle said, "Well, I was told that Candace would be talked to. I was told that she would be talked to." So I was trying to figure out who is Giselle blowing at the network for them to do as she says and go as far as silencing Candace at the freaking reunion. Just ridiculous. So it asks Ashley, "Did you invite Sesame Street there to be messy?" She says, "No, she said that she wanted to clear the air and da 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 da." And everybody was like, clearly that was not her agenda. And you know better than that. Ashley apologizes to Kiana for Kiana being attacked. Kiana said that Ashley is the queen of aftermath apologies, but I guess I'll accept that. What do you mean, aftermath apologies? As in, you start the mess, let the mess play out, let it get as terrible as it can get, and then you're like, "Oh my God, how did this happen? I'm so sorry." Yeah, you're not proactive in these situations. Because, like I said, even if you wanted Deborah there because she's your real friend, there is no reason Deborah should have come near Candace and Wendy. There is no reason she should have even been in the same VIP section with them. She should have been in Gen Pop with the rest of the fans. Because that's what she is, a fan. Just ridiculous. Kiana thanks Karen for riding with her in the ambulance. Karen says that she would have done it for any of them. And I'm like, the lies you tell, because you ain't do it for Candace. You was Team Monique when it came to Candace and Monique. You ain't say nothing when Wendy got assaulted. So it was like Karen be trying to put on. She plays as neutral as she can in her head, but she definitely picks her sides when it fits the situation. So Andy's trying to get resolution still. Why? Robin says that she has no hatred for Candace, but it'll take time to repair their relationship. Candace said, "Well, you said the friendship was over, so any movement would have to come from you." Nneka and Wendy, sir, get out of here. You know they're not resolving nothing. Giselle and Candace dumb self said, "I've tried from the bottom of my coochie to fix this with Giselle." I said, "Not the bottom of your cooch. What is wrong with that girl?" But yeah, Giselle is like, "Well, you didn't apologize. You didn't even acknowledge what you said. You didn't acknowledge what you said." And I'm like, Giselle, the same person that said your husband made me and wouldn't acknowledge that you said made, wouldn't acknowledge that you tried to insinuate this man was trying to sexually assault you. Get Giselle out of here. Get her out of here. So remember how Karen in the season when she was talking about with Robin, she cut the pie in half. She put half the pie in the freezer, ate the other half of the pie, and then let this pie thaw out and all her little pie scenario. So they pull these pies out the freezer and everybody gets a slice of pie. They had pumpkin pie, pecan pie, looked like some apple pie as well. And then they crown him the Duke of Potomac. I'm like, most of y'all don't even live in Potomac to be crowning somebody of Potomac. I think only like 3 of them live in Potomac proper. And the rest stay on the outskirts, right? It's just so annoying, y'all. But that is the end of the reunion. That is the end of this season of Real Housewives of Potomac. At this point, I think I'm pretty close to being on the boycott Potomac wave for next year. They just have to do some shakeups with Ashley and Giselle there. they just truly drag the show down to a place where it doesn't need to be. Like, y'all supposed to be classy women. Y'all supposed to be of a certain age. Y'all supposed to be mature. And Giselle, you creating these hard divides of who you want to play with, as if somebody did something to you. You attacked both Wendy and Candace's marriages. And when they respond to you for being nasty to them, now it's, oh, this is why I can't be around her. Excuse me, girl, you started it with them. How you, I'm gonna forever be a proponent of, you can't do something to me and dictate how I reply. Now that don't mean words result to hands, but when it's all words, then yeah, girl, you can't say something to me and then think I'm not gonna say something back to you. Oh, well, she cuts too deep. She goes below the belt. Well, don't start with me. Well, don't start with me. Don't come to me with no bull smack rumors. Don't be talking about my husband. Don't start with me, and you won't have to get such vitriol, such hatred that I might spew. So that be my thing with it. So I want Giselle and Ashley gone, but I know that is a far reach because whoever Giselle is busting it open for in production, baby, she secured herself because the way that they follow her narratives of, well, who don't you like? Okay, we'll villainize them this season. Okay, who don't you like? Okay, we'll lose the footage. Okay, all right, cool, cool. It's so annoying. But y'all, like the video, thumbs up the video, comment, let me know if you're boycotting RHOP next year, and share the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and have a good day, y'all. Bye.